Hey everybody, what's going on this beautiful Tuesday morning here in East Tennessee? I want to talk to you about NASCAR today. I can't stand NASCAR. I could care less if it even existed. The point that I'm trying to make with this video is NASCAR in Bristol done? The only reason that I know anything about NASCAR is because I have to pass this racetrack on the way to work 2 times a day, 5 days a week. So I see Bristol Motor Speedway. I get affected by the traffic quite frequently. Late for work sometimes, late getting home sometimes, depending on which race it is. One thing I want to point out is something that happened this weekend with the weather. The race got rained out, and it seems that this happens every single year. This year it seemed to be a little bit worse. The campgrounds, the vendor areas were completely flooded with water. I saw reports of 18, 20, 24 inches of water in some areas. Now the race getting rained out and moved to the next day, which is Monday, is understandable to the ticket holders. They still get to see the race, or at least some of them still get to see the race. The ones that have to go back to work on Monday or get back home to their children, whatever it may be, they don't. They lose their money for their tickets, I'm assuming. I don't know if BMS gives their money back or not. Hopefully they do. But the biggest concern is for the money that's spent not by the fans. The race teams that come here that have to spend an extra day here, the vendors that have to spend an extra day here, and the sponsors, those that sponsor the track, sponsor the race, sponsor the cars, they're getting less and less coverage. Now if you've kept up with NASCAR, which I really don't, but I do see in the news and I do see in my social media feeds that the interest in NASCAR, at least Bristol, has been getting smaller and smaller every single year. If you look at the amount of people that are in the stands, even when a race isn't rain delayed or canceled or moved off to another day, the stands are never full. I can't count the last time that at least the spring race in April was not sold out. Ticket prices have obviously dropped to try and draw more fans, but the appeal to the race, I guess I'm hearing that they've maybe changed some of the track surfaces or something that don't make the racing as competitive. But I think the weather is probably the biggest factor. It seems that every single year that we get rain, thunderstorms, wind, conditions that are not ideal for NASCAR. Obviously conditions that would still be ideal for any type of sports car racing, such as IMSA or World Endurance Challenge, prototype car, Formula One, even still races in the rain. Australian V8 supercars, which are very similar to NASCAR in that they don't have any driver aids of any sort. They run in the rain. So it just seems to me like Bristol has failed. If I were Bristol officials, I would consider one of 2 options: either just getting rid of this particular race altogether, or moving it later in the year, possibly into May, beginning of June, times that typically are not bad weather for this area. For me, I really don't care. If they get rid of one race, that's just one less day that I have to worry about trying to leave for work early, or worry about what time I'm going to get home, getting stuck in traffic. It's going to be less trash. I mean, these race fans, they destroy this place. When they leave, when they pull out, the campgrounds, the side of the road, they're just littered with just dirt, trash, beer bottles, beer cans, food containers, chairs they didn't want to bring home, coolers, you name it. I mean, these race fans, they destroy this area. And like I said, I am perfectly fine with them just packing up and leaving and not coming back. I know that it may hurt the economy around here a little bit. Bristol has other things that they could potentially do to make up for that money, but it's a little ridiculous if you ask me. Here I am driving through it after the race. Usually the day after the race, the roads are flooded, full of campers trying to leave, and I mean, I'm moving right along at 45, 55 miles an hour, no issue whatsoever. I mean, the fans are just not the same as they used to be for this area. They don't come here, they don't care. They see it as a waste of money if they're going to come here and spend, you know, $50, $100, $150 on a ticket and not get to see the race the day that the ticket was dated, and it gets pushed out, and they take a chance on losing their money for the ticket, because, you know, whether Bristol won't refund it, or maybe, you know, they have to spend an extra night in a hotel, pay extra for an extra day at the campground. You know, they wasted a trip. And they come from all over the United States. I even see, you know, license plates or license tags from Canada. So they, you know, it's not limited to just the U.S. for this race. But to me, it's just, it's got to go. It's either got to be moved or it's got to go. And really, after this weekend, after the weather that we saw this weekend, I truly believe that this is quite possibly the end of 2 races at Bristol, at least in the era of the spring race or the early race. What are your thoughts? Do you feel the same way? Do you think that it should just be moved? Do you think it should be canceled? Or do you just disagree with me completely? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and thanks for watching.